Moving to a new country is the first in a long mountain of steps you take towards buying your first home there. In this series, we break down each step so you can plan your property journey precisely.
Hey everyone! If you like this video, subscribe to us to have more real estate insights.
In this first episode, we'll talk about all things immigration, covering 3 pathways to PR for both students and working adults, with some added professional advice from John, migration consultant and founder of John Who Migration Consulting.
So actually, there are so many different visa categories depending on your personal requirements as well as your personal profile.
Fortunately, Australia has added special upgrades to some visas, benefiting BNO or Hong Kong passport holders. Temporary subclasses 500, 485, and 482 guarantee you a 5-year stay, while subclasses 189 and 199 are newly designed to ease the passage to PR for Hong Kongers. Let's dive in. Australia is the second most popular overseas study destination among Hong Kong people, with a market share just 4% behind the UK's. To qualify for a subclass 500 student visa, first make sure that you're 6 years old or above, and then get accepted by a course of study in Australia. Very simple stuff. You also need to provide documents for an assessment of your health, as well as evidence of your English skills through a test done within the last 2 years.
This is
IELTS.
After a few years, let's say you've completed your studies and graduate from a CRICOS registered course. You can then apply for the temporary graduate visa, 485. With this postgrad work permit, you can get a job and earn enough points to stay behind for permanent residency. However, there are 2 important things to note. Number 1, you cannot direct apply for the temporary graduate visa. You must first hold a student visa. Number 2, students must apply for the 485 visa within 6 months after graduation. Don't miss this deadline. Let's illustrate. Consider a 50-year-old salesman with a middle school degree. Can he pursue vocational or tertiary education? Can he apply for a student visa?
If someone wants to apply for a student visa and after graduation he would like to apply for the residency through a work pathway, he has to make sure that his purpose of study in Australia is genuine. That whether he has enough points for the skill migration is of great doubt because he's of age of 50 already. So there are likelihood that his student visa may be rejected.
By the way, if you're curious about Australia's property market outlook in 2022, click the video card above. Now, back to the video. If you've been working for a while, you should consider subclass 482, the temporary skill shortage visa, whose purpose can be found in its name.
Because if you have enough points, you'll be invited to apply for permanent skill migration.
Requirements are equally concise for this visa. First, get sponsored by an employer for a job found on the TSS 482 occupation list. As you can see, it's rather long, so go search using the link in the description below. Next, ensure you have at least 2 years of experience in your chosen occupation. As usual, you also need to pass the English language test, which adds to your total points. When applying for skilled migration, the point test system is crucial for success.
If you're in the range of age range of 25 to 30, you have the highest points of 25. And if you have very superior English skills, for example, you can attain the IELTS 8 to 9, then you have the maximum of 20 points.
But this is not to say that the older generations have no chance of immigrating. After all, Australia is currently experiencing major skilled labor shortfalls.
Especially after the COVID, because the health professionals, nurses, doctors, and also we need a lot of engineers and also IT professionals. They are always the hot occupations in Australia.
Here's an additional question which might be important for parents. Can children of 482 visa holders get free education in Australia?
The children of subclass 482 parents visa holders, they have to pay fees, and the fees vary from different states.
Once you have stayed in Australia for 4 years on any of the temporary visas mentioned above, you consider using one of the 2 following Hong Kong streams to apply for permanent residency. The first one is subclass 189, the skilled independent visa, which allows you to live and work in Australia permanently. To be approved, you must have lived in the country for at least 4 years. However, if you want to quicken the process, you can consider the second pathway, which is subclass 191. To be qualified for the permanent residence skilled regional visa, you need to live exclusively in a designated regional area such as the Gold Coast and the Sunshine Coast for 3 years prior to your application. The great thing about these two streams is that you no longer need to go through the point system, career assessment, and English test anymore. With both visas, you can bring eligible family members to the country for permanent residence as well.
In the last 6 months, the most popular visa, which is a direct PR visa, is the Global Talent Visa Independent, granted within 6 months. Now that is pretty fast.
Australia is thirsty for high-quality talent, hence this highly selective program. To be qualified, you must be internationally recognized in one of the following 10 sectors, including energy, infrastructure and tourism, fintech, etc. Moreover, you need to have an annual salary of over 900,000 Hong Kong dollars.
It's over 9,000! What, 9,000?
This figure is adjusted annually on July 1st, so double check before applying. While the processing time for the program is short and sweet, it's only accessible to a limited number of people. In 2021 and 2022, there are a total of 15,000 places available. With so much information flowing around, you may have questions that we haven't covered. So we decided to ask John for his thoughts about a certain common one. How long does the application process take?
The Global Talent Independent takes only 6 months. The skill visa probably takes about 12 months. The investor business visa probably takes about 1.5 years. Australian immigration gives priority to the Hong Kong born residents and citizens.
How are the most popular regions Hong Kong people migrate to?
Most of my clients would select Sydney and Melbourne because probably they have their friends and relatives in Sydney and Melbourne, right? And I do have clients who go to, for example, Adelaide, South Australia, the Brisbane in Queensland.
What are the major differences between the investor stream and the business innovation streams in subclass 188?
A business visa is for active investment, in which that you have to create a business, you have to create jobs to meet some sales turnover, which is 300,000 minimum. When you talk about the investor visa, that is what we call a passive investment visa. You don't have to hire Australians. What you do is just investing, your money into buying some designated investments with Australian fund managers.
Thanks, John. To reach out to him or solicit his immigration consultation services, contact him through the following channels. So, what's next? Figuring out where exactly to live, of course. To help you out, we'll be ranking the living potential of different regions in Australia from a home buying and investment perspective. Are there any specific questions you would like us to address? Let us know in the comments below. For more, stay tuned by signing up to our newsletter and following our social media pages.